The deep space mining drill cut through the frozen ground with a loud grinding noise. Dr. Elena Martinez wiped sweat from her face as she watched the machine work. 3 months of digging in the ruins of old Denver had finally paid off. The drill hit something hard that wasn't rock. "Stop the drill," Elena called out to her team. She brushed dirt away from a metal surface that gleamed under their lights. "This is it. We found the facility." Commander Jake Morrison walked over to see what they had discovered. He was a tall man with gray hair who had seen many strange things in space, but this made him pause. The metal was smooth and perfect, showing no signs of rust or damage after more than 200 years buried underground. "Are you sure this is the place from the old records?" Jake asked. Elena nodded. "The coordinates match exactly. This should be Research Station Delta 7, built in 2157 during the Dark Century. The records say they were doing experiments here before Earth lost contact with the facility." Behind them, Zixthara made a hissing sound. The reptilian scientist from the Kethver Empire flicked her forked tongue in the air, tasting for danger. Her yellow eyes looked worried as she stared at the metal surface. "Ancient human military sites should be left alone," Zixthara said in her rough voice. "Your species did terrible things during those dark years. Some knowledge should stay buried." Dr. Ben Carter, their cryogenics expert, ignored the alien's warning. He was already setting up scanners around the metal surface. "The energy readings are amazing," he said with excitement. "Something down there is still powered after all this time." Elena felt her heart race. Finding active technology from the Dark Century would make her career. That time period was mostly a mystery because so many records had been lost during Earth's wars with alien invaders. Most people knew only that humanity had faced extinction and somehow survived, but the details were classified or destroyed. "We need to be careful," Jake said. "Command will want a full report before we go inside." "Sir, with respect we might not get another chance," Elena replied. "The Galactic Council could shut down this dig at any time. They still don't like humans poking around Dark Century sites." Jake knew she was right. Even though humans were now part of the galactic community, many alien species still feared what humanity had become during those desperate years. Stories told of human soldiers who could fight entire alien armies alone, of weapons that could crack planets, of experiments that went too far. The drill team worked for 6 more hours to clear an entrance. What they found made everyone step back in surprise. A perfectly preserved airlock sat in the ground, its system still glowing with soft blue light. The door was marked with symbols that Elena recognized as old Earth military codes. "Incredible," Ben whispered. "The power systems are still running. The facility has been maintaining itself for over 2 centuries. Zixthara backed away further. "This is wrong. Human military facilities from that time were designed to create monsters. My grandmother told me stories of the Apex soldiers, the humans who could tear apart Kethver warriors with their bare hands." "Those are just stories to scare children," Elena said, but even she felt nervous as they approached the airlock. The facility looked too advanced, too well preserved. What had they been doing down here that required such powerful technology? Jake made the decision. "We go in with full protective gear. Elena, Ben, and I will enter first. Zixthara, you monitor from up here and call for help if we don't return in 2 hours." The airlock opened with a soft hiss when Elena touched the control panel. Air samples showed the atmosphere inside was clean and breathable. Emergency lighting activated as they walked through corridors that looked like they had been abandoned yesterday instead of centuries ago. "The preservation is perfect," Ben said, running his scanner along the walls. "Whatever power source they're using, it's beyond anything we have today." They found laboratories filled with equipment Elena didn't recognize. Computer terminals still displayed data in languages that mixed English with symbols she had never seen. Everything suggested experiments that pushed the limits of science and human biology. Then they found the chamber that changed everything. The room was huge, filled with dozens of metal pods arranged in neat rows. Most of the pods were dark and silent, their occupants long dead. But in the center of the room, one pod still hummed with power. Frost covered its viewing window, but Elena could see the outline of a human figure inside. "My God," Jake breathed. "Someone's still alive in there." Ben rushed to the pod's control panel. "The life signs are stable. Whoever this is, they've been in perfect suspension for 230 years. The pod systems have kept them alive all this time." Elena wiped frost from the viewing window and looked inside. A man lay peaceful in the freezing chamber, looking like he was simply sleeping. He appeared to be in his 30s with short dark hair and a face that seemed carved from stone, even unconscious. There was something about him that made Elena feel uneasy. "Look at his size," Jake said. "He's built like a tank. Those arms are twice as thick as mine." The pod's information screen showed a name, Lieutenant Alex Hunter. Earth Defense Force? Below that were medical readings that made Ben's eyes widen. In shock. "This can't be right," Ben muttered. According to these scans, his bone density is 3 times normal human levels. His muscle mass readings are off the charts. And look at this brain activity. Even in suspension, his neural pathways are incredibly active. Elena read the file data that appeared on screen. He was part of something called Project Apex, volunteered for long-term assignment with Revival Set for 2160. He was supposed to wake up after 3 years, not 2 centuries. Jake frowned. "Project Apex isn't in any historical records I know of?" Whatever they were doing here was classified beyond normal military levels. "We have to wake him up," Elena said. "Think about what he could tell us about the Dark Century. About what really happened during those years." "Absolutely not," came Zixthara's voice over their communicators. "I've been monitoring your conversation. Ancient human military specimens should not be disturbed. My people have legends about the Apex soldiers. They were designed to be living weapons." Ben studied the pod's revival systems. "The process looks automated. If we start it, the pod will handle everything. But there's no guarantee he'll be mentally stable after so long in suspension." Elena made the choice that would change all their lives. "We're scientists. This is the discovery of a lifetime. We have to know what secrets he carries from humanity's darkest hour." She pressed the revival sequence button before anyone could stop her. The pod hummed louder as warming systems activated. Machines began pumping drugs into the sleeping man's body to prepare him for consciousness. "Elena, what have you done?" Jake asked, but it was too late to stop the process inside the pod. Lieutenant Alex Hunter's eyes began to move beneath closed lids. His fingers twitched slightly as his body started to respond to the revival chemicals. The readings on his medical display jumped and fluctuated as systems that had been dormant for centuries came back to life. "He's waking up," Ben announced. "Heart rate increasing, brain activity spiking. Revival will be complete in 30 minutes." Elena stared at the man in the pod and wondered if she had just made the biggest mistake of her life. Something about Alex Hunter looked dangerous even while sleeping. What kind of soldier had humanity created during their desperate fight for survival? And what would he do when he woke up in a world so different from the one he remembered? The pod continued its work, bringing back to life a man from an age when humanity had been forced to become something terrible, just to survive. Soon they would learn what that something was. The pod's lid opened with a loud hiss of escaping gas. Steam poured out as the temperature inside quickly warmed to match the room. Alex Hunter's eyes snapped open, and he sat up fast like he was ready to fight. His movement was so quick that Elena jumped back in surprise. One moment he was lying still, the next he was sitting up and looking around with sharp blue eyes that seemed to take in everything at once. "Report," Alex said in a strong voice that echoed in the chamber. "What's our situation?" "Are we under attack?" Jake stepped forward slowly with his hands visible. "Easy there, soldier, you're safe. I'm Commander Jake Morrison. You've been in cryogenic sleep for a long time." Alex's eyes focused on Jake's uniform, then moved to Elena and Ben. His face showed confusion when he saw their clothes and equipment. Everything looked different from what he remembered. "How long?" Alex asked, trying to stand up. His legs were shaky from the long sleep, but Elena could see the incredible muscle definition in his arms and shoulders. He looked like he could bench. "Press a car, 230 years, Ben said softly. "It's the year 2387. A lot has changed since you went to sleep." Alex went very still. His face showed no emotion, but Elena could see his hands slowly clenching into fists. "That's impossible. I was supposed to wake up in 2160. The mission was only supposed to last 3 years. Something went wrong with the facility," Elena explained. "Earth lost contact with this place during the wars. You've been here alone all this time." "The wars," Alex repeated. His voice was quiet but dangerous. "Did we win? Did humanity survive?" "Yes," Jake said. "Earth survived. The alien invasions were stopped. But Alex, the world is very different now. Humans and aliens work together. We're part of something called the Galactic Council." Alex's expression darkened. "Work together? With the same species that tried to wipe us out, that killed billions of innocent people?" Elena saw the anger building in his eyes and felt afraid. She remembered Zixthara's warnings about Apex soldiers being living weapons. "The aliens we work with now are different species. The ones who attacked Earth are gone or made peace." Alex said the word like it tasted bad. He tried to stand again and this time succeeded. When he rose to his full height, he was taller than anyone in the room. His presence filled the space around him. Ben's medical scanner started beeping loudly. He looked at the readings and his face went pale. "Alex, I need to run some tests." "Your bio readings are unlike anything I've ever seen." "What kind of tests?" Alex asked, suspicion clear in his voice. "Nothing harmful," Ben assured him. "I just want to make sure the long sleep didn't damage your body." "Your bone density readings are incredible. Your muscle fibers show modifications I don't understand." Alex looked at his own hands, opening and closing them slowly. "The modifications were part of Project Apex. They changed us to fight the aliens, made us stronger, faster, tougher. We needed every advantage to survive." Elena's communicator crackled. Zixthara's worried voice came through. "Dr. Martinez, I'm detecting massive energy spikes from your location. What's happening down there?" Before Elena could answer, Alex grabbed her wrist to stop her from using the communicator. His grip was gentle, but Elena felt the incredible strength in his fingers. He could crush her bones without effort. "Who is that?" Alex demanded. "Is that an alien voice?" "Yes, but she's our friend," Elena said quickly. "Zixthara is part of our research team. She's been helping us find this place." Alex's eyes went cold. "You brought an alien to a human military facility? Are you insane? This place contains classified technology and information about our defenses." "Alex, please listen," Jake said in a calm voice. "The war you remember is over. Earth is safe. The aliens we work with now are our allies." "Allies," Alex repeated. He let go of Elena's wrist but moved to block the exit. "The same way the Kethver were allies before they glassed half of Europe. The same way the Void Hunters were peaceful before they started harvesting human colonies." Zixthara's voice came through the communicator again. "Elena, answer me. I can feel something wrong through the ground vibrations." "Is the human awake?" Alex's reaction was instant. He grabbed the communicator from Elena's hand and crushed it completely. The metal and plastic crumbled like paper in his grip. "No aliens," Alex said firmly. "Not until I understand what's really happening here." Ben held up his medical scanner, trying to keep things calm. "Alex, please let me run these tests. I need to make sure you're healthy after such a long sleep." Alex looked at the scanner, then nodded slowly. "Fine, but no aliens. And no communications until I know the truth about what Earth has become." The medical test took an hour. Every reading made Ben's eyes grow wider. Alex's reflexes were faster than the machines could measure. His strength tests broke the equipment. Twice, his blood showed proteins and modifications that shouldn't exist. How is this possible? Ben whispered as he looked at the data. "Your cellular structure has been completely redesigned. Your bones are stronger than steel. Your muscles can generate 3 times normal human power. The doctor said they were making us into something new, Alex explained. Humanity 2.0, they called it. Strong enough to fight aliens who were bigger and tougher than us. Smart enough to outthink their battle computers. Elena watched Alex during the tests. Even sitting still, he looked like a coiled spring ready to explode into action. His eyes never stopped moving, always watching for threats. She could see why the other aliens were afraid of stories about apex soldiers. The modifications aren't just physical, Ben continued. Your brain shows enhanced neural pathways. Your reaction time is incredible. It's like you were designed to be a perfect soldier. We were, Alex said simply. Earth was losing the war. Regular humans couldn't fight the aliens and win. So they made us into something that could. Jake had been quiet during the tests, but now he spoke up. Alex, how many others like you were there? My unit had 50 apex soldiers, Alex replied. But there were other units, other projects. Hundreds of us at least, maybe thousands. His face darkened. Where are they? If the war is over, where are the other apex soldiers? Elena, Ben, and Jake exchanged looks. They had found no records of any other enhanced humans. Historical documents from after the Dark Century showed normal humans rebuilding and expanding. Into space. We don't know, Elena admitted. The records from that time period are mostly classified or lost. You might be the only one left. Alex went very still. The only one? That's impossible. We were too valuable to just disappear? Ben's scanner beeped with a new reading. Alex, I'm detecting something unusual in your genetic structure. It looks like your enhancements have a built-in time limit. What do you mean? Alex asked. The modifications seem designed to last only about 10 years without maintenance, Ben explained. But somehow the cryogenic sleep has kept them stable. You're still enhanced, but I don't know for how long. Alex stood up suddenly, and the medical bed creaked under the force. I need to contact Earth Command. They need to know I'm awake. The Apex soldiers have protocols for revival situations. Alex, Jake said carefully, Earth Command doesn't exist anymore. The military was reorganized after the wars. Everything is different now. For the first time, Alex looked truly lost. The confidence and strength seemed to drain from his face. Different how? What happened to the people I knew? My unit, my commanders? Elena felt sorry for him. They're gone, Alex. It's been 230 years. Everyone you knew lived their lives and died of old age. Their children grew up in a peaceful galaxy. Alex sat back down heavily. The weight of centuries hit him all at once. So I'm alone. The last of my kind in a world that doesn't need soldiers like me anymore. You're not alone, Elena said gently. We found you, we woke you up. You can learn about this new world. You can find a place in it. Alex looked at her with eyes that had seen too much war. Can I? I was made to kill aliens, not work with them. I was designed for war, not peace. What good is a weapon when there's no more fighting? Before anyone could answer, the facility's alarm system activated. Red lights flashed and a recorded voice announced, Perimeter breach detected, unknown entities approaching the facility. Alex was on his feet instantly, all trace of sadness gone. His body moved like a predator ready to hunt. How many contacts? What species? I don't know, Jake said, reaching for his communicator. We lost contact with the surface team. Surface team? Alex asked. Zixthara, Elena said with growing worry. She was monitoring us from above. If something happened to her ... Alex's expression hardened. Then we find out what's threatening this facility. And we stop it. He looked around the room until he found what he was looking for, an old weapons locker that had been sealed for centuries. Those weapons probably don't work anymore, Ben said. Alex ripped the locker door off its hinges with his bare hands. Inside were rifles and equipment that looked ancient but well-maintained. He picked up a weapon and checked it with practiced ease. Apex soldier gear is built to last forever, Alex said as the weapon hummed to life. Now, let's go see what wants to disturb my sleep. Elena realized that their discovery had just become very dangerous. They had awakened a living weapon from humanity's darkest age, and now something was threatening them. She wondered if Alex would protect them or if he would see them as just more obstacles to overcome. Alex moved through the facility corridors like a ghost. Elena watched in amazement as someone so large could move so quietly. He held the ancient rifle with perfect control, checking corners and listening for sounds that others couldn't hear. "The threat assessment is wrong," Alex said softly. "Whatever triggered the alarms isn't hostile. The movement patterns are too careful, too respectful." Jake followed behind with his own weapon drawn. "How can you tell?" "Training," Alex replied. Apex soldiers learn to read situations instantly. If this was an attack, they would have moved fast and loud. These contacts are being cautious. They reached the facility's upper level where the entrance was located. Through the reinforced windows, they could see several figures in environmental suits standing around the entrance. Elena recognized the equipment as standard Galactic Council. "Exploration gear. It's a rescue team," Elena said with relief. "They must have come looking for us when we lost contact." Alex's grip on his weapon tightened. "Rescue team with mixed species. I count at least 3 different alien body types." Before anyone could stop him, Alex opened the facility's external communication system. His voice boomed across the surface. "This is Lieutenant Alex Hunter, Earth Defense Force. State your business at this military installation." The figures outside froze. One of them, clearly human by his build, stepped forward. "This is General Lisa Parker, Earth Command Special Operations. We received a distress signal from your research team. Are you holding them hostage?" Alex's face showed surprise. "Earth Command still exists?" "Stand down, soldier," General Parker's voice was sharp with authority. "Release the civilians and surrender yourself for debriefing." Elena saw Alex's jaw clench. "Alex, please. She's trying to help." "Help?" Alex looked at the mixed group outside. "She brought aliens to a classified human facility during a first contact situation. That's either incompetence or treason." Jake tried to reason with him. "Alex, things work differently now. Earth Command cooperates with alien species. It's been this way for over a century." "Then Earth Command has been compromised," Alex said. Coldly, he spoke into the communication system again. "General, I'll speak with you alone. The aliens stay outside." "That's not how this works, Lieutenant," came the reply. "You've been in suspension for over 2 centuries. You're not up to date on current protocols." Alex laughed, but there was no humor in it. "My protocols are very clear. No alien contact without proper authorization and security screening. I don't care how many years have passed." The facility shook as something heavy landed outside. Through the windows, they could see a large shuttle touching down. More figures in environmental suits emerged from it. "They're bringing reinforcements," Ben said nervously. Alex studied the new arrivals through the window. His enhanced vision could see details the others missed. "Combat specialists. Heavy weapons. They're not here for a friendly chat." Elena felt fear building in her chest. "Alex, please don't do anything violent. These people are trying to help us, are they?" Alex turned to look at her. "Tell me, Dr. Martinez, when you found this facility, who did you report to first? Earth Command or the Galactic Council?" Elena hesitated. "The Galactic Council oversees all archaeological research now. It's standard procedure." Alex's expression went cold. "So aliens knew about this place before Earth's military did. Aliens knew you were waking up an Apex soldier before your own species was informed." Jake realized where Alex's thoughts were going. "You think this is some kind of trap?" "I think," Alex said slowly, "that Earth has forgotten what it means to protect human interests first. You've become so eager to please your alien friends that you've lost sight of basic security." General Parker's voice came through the speakers again. "Lieutenant Hunter, we know what you are. We know about Project Apex. We're here to help you adjust to the modern world." "What you know," Alex replied, "is what's in the old files. You don't know what we actually became." He moved away from the communication panel and started checking other weapons in the facility's armory. Elena watched him load ammunition with practiced speed. Alex, what are you doing? She asked. Preparing for the worst-case scenario, he replied. If they really want to help, they'll prove it by following proper security protocols. If they don single quotes ... He left the sentence unfinished. Ben's scanner was still active and he noticed something strange. Alex, your bio readings are changing. Your heart rate is increasing, but not from stress. It's like your body is preparing for something, Alex nodded. Combat enhancement mode. The modifications don't just make us stronger, they make us smarter and faster when we detect threats. Outside, the rescue team was setting up equipment around the facility entrance. Elena could see them placing devices that looked like sensors or possibly weapons. They're surrounding us, Jake observed. Standard containment protocol, Alex confirmed. They're treating this like a dangerous situation that needs to be controlled, not a rescue operation. General Parker's voice returned. Lieutenant, we're going to send in one person to talk with you, unarmed and alone. Will you accept that? Alex considered this. One person, human, no recording devices or weapons. They have 5 minutes. Agreed. A few minutes later, a woman in her 50s entered the facility. She wore a simple uniform with general stars and moved with military precision. Her gray hair was pulled back severely and her eyes showed intelligence and caution. General. Lisa Parker, she introduced herself. I've read your file, Lieutenant Hunter. What I've read scares the hell out of me. Alex lowered his weapon slightly. At least you're honest about it. The Project Apex files were classified at the highest levels, General Parker continued. Most people don't even know you existed, but I've seen the reports of what Apex soldiers could do. Single soldiers destroying entire alien battalions. Humans who could think faster than computers and hit targets from impossible distances. We did what was necessary, Alex said simply. I know, and Earth survived because of it. General Parker looked around the facility. But that was a different time. The galaxy has changed. Humanity has changed. Has it? Alex gestured toward the ceiling. Because right now, I'm looking at a human general who brought aliens to secure a human military facility containing a classified human weapon. That doesn't sound like change. That sounds like surrender. General Parker's face hardened. Those aliens are some of our most trusted allies. They've fought beside human soldiers for decades. They fought beside modern humans, Alex corrected. Humans who never knew real war. Humans who never had to choose between their species' survival and their moral principles. Elena watched the conversation with growing tension. She could see both sides had valid points, but the situation was becoming more dangerous by the minute. Alex, Elena said carefully, maybe you could give the modern world a chance. See how things work now before judging them? Alex looked at her with eyes that had seen too much. Dr. Martinez, you woke me up from a world where aliens were actively trying to exterminate humanity, where every day brought news of colonies being destroyed and populations being enslaved. You expect me to just accept that everything is different now? Yes, General Parker said firmly, because it is different. The threats humanity faces now require cooperation with other species. We can't survive alone in the galaxy. We survived alone during the Dark Century, Alex pointed out. We didn't just survive, we won. At what cost? General Parker asked. Do you know what happened to the other Apex soldiers? Do you know why there are no records of them after the war ended? Alex went very still. Tell me. They couldn't adapt? To peace, General Parker said quietly. Most went insane from the modifications. Others became too dangerous to be around normal humans. A few tried to integrate into society, but their enhanced instincts made them see threats everywhere. And the rest? Alex asked, though Elena could see he already knew the answer. They volunteered to go back into cryogenic sleep, permanently. They felt they were too dangerous for a peaceful world. Alex was quiet for a long moment. When he spoke again, his voice was softer. How many of us are left? As far as we know, you're the only one still alive. The weight of that information hit Alex like a physical blow. Elena could see him struggling with the reality that he truly was the last of his kind. The modifications are still stable in your system, General Parker continued. But Dr. Carter is right about the time limit. Without regular maintenance treatments, they'll start to break down. We can help with that, but only if you work with us. Alex looked at his hands, flexing his fingers slowly. Work with you. And, your alien allies? Yes. Alex raised his weapon again, but this time he pointed it at the ceiling and fired a single shot. The sound echoed through the facility like thunder. When the noise faded, he lowered the weapon. That was a warning shot, Alex said calmly. For everyone listening, I am not a normal human anymore. I am what humanity created when it needed monsters. To fight monsters. I will work with you, General Parker, but understand this. If I ever decide that Earth's interests are being betrayed, if I ever see evidence that humanity is being weakened or threatened by its alien allies, I will act according to my original programming. 2 weeks had passed since Alex's awakening. He now lived on the research ship Stellar Dawn, trying to understand the galaxy that had grown around him while he slept. The ship was comfortable, but Alex felt like a caged animal most days. Elena watched him during their daily briefings. Alex studied everything with the focus of a soldier learning enemy territory. He read reports about galactic politics, trade agreements, and peaceful exploration missions. But Elena could see the confusion in his eyes. This was not the world he had been trained to protect. The human colonies number in the thousands now, Jake explained as they reviewed star charts in the ship's meeting room. We've spread across 12 sectors, all with Galactic Council approval and protection. Protection from who? Alex asked. If the galaxy is so peaceful, why do we need protection? Dr. Ben Carter looked up from his medical readings. There are still hostile species out there. Pirates, raiders, some isolated aggressive civilizations. But nothing like the coordinated invasion forces you fought against. Alex studied the star charts more carefully. These colony locations are all approved by aliens. Humans ask permission to expand. We follow alien rules for settlement. His voice was neutral, but Elena could hear the disapproval underneath. It's cooperation, not submission, Elena said. The Galactic Council prevents conflicts over territory. Everyone benefits. Everyone except the species strong enough to take what they want without asking, Alex replied. What happens when someone decides they don't want to cooperate anymore? Before anyone could answer, the ship's communication system activated. Admiral Richard Stone's face appeared on the main screen. He was an older man with tired eyes who carried himself like someone with too many responsibilities. Lieutenant Hunter. Admiral Stone said formally. I've been briefing myself on your situation. We need to discuss your future role in Earth's defense structure. Alex straightened in his chair. I'm ready for assignment, sir. It's not that simple, Admiral Stone replied. Your capabilities are the extraordinary, but we don't have conflicts that require someone with your particular skills. Then why wake me up? Alex asked bluntly. Admiral Stone was quiet for a moment, because something has changed in the galaxy. Something that might require the old ways of fighting. The screen changed to show long-range sensor data. Elena saw massive ship formations moving at the edge of known space. The vessels were unlike anything in the Galactic Council databases. We call them the Void Hunters, Admiral Stone continued. They appeared 6 months ago at the Galactic Rim. They've been conquering systems methodically, and they don't respond to any communication attempts. Alex leaned forward, studying the tactical displays. Ship numbers, technology level, combat capabilities. Unknown on all counts, Admiral Stone admitted. They destroy all resistance completely. No survivors, no witnesses. Entire civilizations have gone silent when they arrive. How many systems have they taken? Alex asked. 17 confirmed. Possibly more. They're moving toward the core systems where most Council species live. Elena felt a chill run down her spine. Are they heading for Earth? If their current pattern holds, they'll reach human space within 2 years. Admiral Stone said grimly. Alex was studying the movement patterns on the display. This isn't random expansion. They're testing defenses, learning about Council military capabilities. This is how you start a war of extermination. That's what our military analysts think too, Admiral Stone agreed, which is why we need to prepare for the worst-case scenario. The communication ended, leaving the room in uncomfortable silence. Elena could see Alex thinking, processing the information with the tactical mind he had been enhanced to possess. Finally, Alex said quietly, "A real threat." "Alex, don't sound so pleased about it," Elena said with concern. "I'm not pleased about the threat," Alex clarified. "I'm pleased that this galaxy might finally remember why soldiers like me exist," Jake frowned. "You think the Galactic Council's military can't handle the Void Hunters?" "I think," Alex said slowly, "that the Galactic Council's military was designed for keeping peace, not fighting wars. There's a difference." Ben's medical scanner beeped as he took readings from Alex. "Your stress levels are actually decreasing. Most people would be more worried by news like this." Alex almost smiled. Most people weren't designed for war. I was. "This is what I understand." 3 days later, everything changed again. The Stellar Dawn received an emergency transmission that made the crew gather around the communications station with worried faces. The image that appeared showed a being that made Elena step back in fear. It was tall and thin, with dark metallic skin and 4 arms that ended in razor-sharp claws. Its face was covered by a mask, but Elena could see glowing red eyes behind it. "I am Ambassador Kethmer of the Void Hunter Fleet," the creature spoke in perfect human language. "I come to deliver terms to the pathetic council species." Alex moved closer to the screen, studying every detail of the alien's appearance and posture. "Predator species, built for hunting and killing. Look at those claws and the way it moves." "The Void Hunters claim the right of conquest over this galaxy," Kethmer continued. "We offer the Council worlds one choice: surrender now and become our servants or be destroyed completely." General Parker's voice came through the ship's communication system. "All Council representatives are gathering at the main station. This alien has demanded to meet with military leaders from every species." Elena watched Alex's reaction to the ultimatum. His enhanced mind was clearly working through tactical possibilities and threat assessments. "Lieutenant Hunter, General," Parker continued, "you're ordered to accompany the delegation. The Void Hunters specifically requested to meet any Apex soldiers that might still exist." Alex went very still. "They know about us?" "Apparently so. They mentioned the humans who broke the dark in their message." Elena felt her blood run cold. "How could they know about Project Apex? That information is classified." "Good question," Alex said grimly. "But it tells us something important. These Void Hunters have been watching the galaxy for a long time. They know our history." The trip to the main council station took 6 hours. During that time, Alex prepared himself with the methodical precision of a professional soldier. He studied every available piece of information about the Void Hunters and reviewed old combat manuals that most people had forgotten existed. Elena found him in the ship's small training room, moving through combat exercises that looked more like a deadly dance. His speed and precision were inhuman, beautiful, and terrifying at the same time. "Alex," she said carefully, "what do you think these Void Hunters really want?" He stopped mid-motion and turned to look at her. "They want to see if humanity still has teeth." "What do you mean?" "Think about it," Alex explained. "They could have just attacked. They have the numbers and firepower to crush the Council fleets. But instead, they're talking. They're giving ultimatums. They're specifically asking about Apex soldiers." Elena began to understand. "You think this is some kind of test?" "I think they've been watching the galaxy become soft and weak," Alex said. "Watching species that once fought for survival become comfortable with peace. But they remember stories about humanity's dark years. They want to know if we're still dangerous." "And are we?" Elena asked. Alex looked at his hands, then back at her. "Only one way to find out." When they arrived at the council station, Elena was amazed by the size of the gathering. Representatives from dozens of species filled the main assembly hall. She had never seen so many different aliens in one place, but what caught her attention was how they all looked when Alex entered the room. Conversation stopped. Beings who had never heard of Apex soldiers somehow sensed that something dangerous had just walked among them. Ambassador Kethmar was waiting in the center of the hall. When the Void Hunter saw Alex, it made a sound that might have been laughter. "So," Kethmar said in its cold voice, "one of the legendary human weapons still lives. The last of the species that turned itself into monsters to survive." Alex walked forward until he was face to face with the alien ambassador. Even though Kethmar was taller, Alex's presence seemed to fill more space. "I am Lieutenant Alex Hunter," he said simply. "And you are trespassing in human space." Kethmar's red eyes glowed brighter. "Human space? This entire galaxy belongs to whoever is strong enough to take it. The question is, are humans still strong enough to keep what they claim? There's an easy way to find out." Alex replied. Elena realized that the two most dangerous beings in the galaxy were now staring at each other, and she had the terrible feeling that the fate of billions might depend on what happened next. QE single quotes Mar raised one clawed hand. "The Void Hunters propose a test of strength. Single combat between champions. If your warrior wins, we will delay our conquest for 1 year. If our champion wins, the council surrenders immediately." Alex looked around the assembly hall at all the alien representatives. Their faces showed fear and uncertainty. These were beings who had lived in peace for so long they had forgotten what real war looked like. "I accept," Alex said without hesitation. Elena wanted to scream at him to reconsider, but she knew it was too late. The last Apex soldier had just bet the entire galaxy on his ability to win a fight. And something told her that was exactly what the Void Hunters had been hoping for. The arena was built in deep space, floating between two dead moons where no innocent lives could be lost. Representatives from every major species in the galaxy watched from safe distances aboard their ships. Elena stood on the bridge of the Stellar Dawn, her hands pressed against the viewing window as she watched Alex prepare for the fight that would decide everything. "He's been in that combat suit for 2 hours, Ben said nervously. "His bio readings are off the charts. It's like his body is changing itself for battle." Elena could see Alex through the arena's transparent walls. He moved with fluid grace as he tested the suit's systems. The combat armor was ancient technology from the Dark Century, found in the facility's deepest vaults. It looked like it had been built to turn a man into a living weapon. "The Void Hunter champion is arriving, Jake," announced from the communications station. Elena turned to watch a massive ship approach the arena. It was black and angular, covered in spikes and weapons that served no purpose except to intimidate. When the ship's bay opened, what emerged made Elena's blood freeze. The creature was 9 feet tall and looked like a nightmare made real. Its body was part organic flesh and part mechanical horror. Multiple arms ended in different weapons, claws, blades, and things Elena couldn't identify. Its head was hidden behind a helmet covered in glowing red sensors. "That's Kethvil, the destroyer," General Parker's voice came through the communications. "Our intelligence says it has never lost a battle. It's killed thousands of warriors from dozens of species." Alex's voice came through his suit's communicator. "How many humans?" There was silence on the channel for a moment. "Unknown, Lieutenant, but probably many during the old wars." Alex made a sound that might have been laughter. "Good, then this is personal." Elena watched as both fighters entered the arena. The rules were simple. Fight until one could no longer continue. No weapons except what they brought with them. No mercy and no surrender. Ambassador Kethmar's voice echoed across all communication channels. "Let the galaxy see what happens when the weak try to stand against the strong. Let them see why the Void Hunters are inevitable." The arena's countdown began. Elena found herself holding her breath as the numbers decreased. 10, 9, 8. "Alex," she whispered, though she knew he couldn't hear her. "Please be careful." 3, 2, 1. The fight began with Kethvil charging across the arena like a mechanical avalanche. Its multiple arms swung weapons in patterns designed to overwhelm any opponent. But Alex wasn't there when the strikes landed. He had moved with inhuman speed, rolling under the attack and coming up behind the monster. His first strike was a punch that would have shattered normal armor, but Kethval's mechanical body absorbed the impact and spun to counterattack. Elena watched in horror as blade arms sliced through the space where Alex had been standing. The Void Hunter was fast despite its size, and its multiple limbs could attack from impossible angles. Alex is at a major disadvantage, General Parker observed. Size, reach, multiple weapons, he needs to change the dynamics of the fight. Alex seemed to understand this. Instead of trying to trade blows with the monster, he began using the arena itself. The combat zone was filled with obstacles and barriers meant to create tactical options. Alex moved between them like water, never staying in one place long enough for Kethval to pin him down. But the destroyer was learning. Its multiple sensors tracked Alex's movement patterns, and its mechanical brain calculated probable positions. When Alex tried to use a barrier for cover, 3 different weapons struck the obstacle from different angles, destroying it completely. Elena saw Alex take his first real hit as debris from the destroyed barrier caught him in the shoulder. His armor sparked, and she could see damage warnings on her monitor. "He's hurt," Ben said with worry. "But his bio readings are still climbing. It's like the injury made him stronger." Alex wiped blood from his mouth and smiled. It was the first genuine smile Elena had seen from him since his awakening, and it was terrifying. "Now, we're getting somewhere," Alex said into his communicator. What happened next made Elena understand why the galaxy had feared Apex soldiers. Alex stopped running and started hunting. He used every dirty trick humanity had learned during the Dark Century. When Kethval charged again, Alex grabbed a piece of debris and threw it not at the monster, but at the arena's lighting system. Sparks showered down, interfering with the destroyer's sensors. In the darkness, Alex became something else. Elena could barely track his movements as he flowed around Kethval's attacks. He struck at joints and weak points with surgical precision, using the monster's own momentum against it. But Kethval was no ordinary opponent. It adapted to Alex's tactics, using its own weapons to create light and clear its vision. When Alex tried to disable another limb, the destroyer was ready with a trap. 2 mechanical arms grabbed Alex while a third raised a blade to finish him. Elena screamed as the weapon descended toward Alex's head. The blade stopped inches from Alex's helmet. Kethval made a mechanical sound that might have been confusion. Alex was holding the weapon arm with one hand, stopping its descent through pure strength. "My turn," Alex said. Elena watched in amazement as Alex slowly forced the blade arm backward despite Kethval's mechanical strength. The destroyer's other arms tried to strike him, but Alex used his position to make them hit each other instead. With a sound of tearing metal, Alex ripped the blade arm completely off Kethval's body. Sparks and fluid sprayed across the arena floor, but the victory cost him. The effort left Alex exposed, and Kethval's remaining arm struck him repeatedly. Elena saw his armor crack and his bio readings spike into dangerous territory. Alex fell to one knee, breathing heavily. Kethval stood over him, preparing to deliver the killing blow. "Is this the best humanity can offer?" Kethmar's voice mocked across the communication channels. "One broken soldier from a forgotten age?" Alex looked up at the monster towering over him. When he spoke, his voice was calm and clear. "You want to know what humanity can offer? Let me show you what we learned when aliens tried to make us extinct." Alex moved faster than Elena thought possible. He rolled between Kethval's legs and came up behind the monster. But instead of attacking, he grabbed something from his belt, a small device that Elena didn't recognize. "Fusion charge," Alex said as he attached the device to Kethval's power core. "Dark Century technology. We use them to crack alien dreadnoughts." Kethval spun around, trying to reach the device, but Alex was already moving away. "The destroyers." Mechanical voice spoke for the first time. "Impossible. Humans do not use suicide tactics." Alex laughed as he reached the arena's far wall. "You're right, we don't." Elena watched as Alex activated his armor's emergency systems. A protective barrier formed around him just as the fusion charge detonated. The explosion was contained within the arena, but the force was incredible. When the light faded, Kethvil the destroyer was nothing but scattered metal and organic debris. Alex stood in the center of the destruction, his armor cracked and smoking but intact. He had somehow calculated the exact force needed to destroy his opponent while protecting himself. Elena found herself cheering along with the human crews throughout the fleet. But her celebration stopped when she looked at the Void Hunter ships. They weren't retreating. They weren't showing anger or fear. If anything, they seemed pleased. Ambassador Kethmar's voice came through the communications again, but now it carried respect instead of mockery. Impressive. The legends were true. Humanity still carries the capacity for beautiful violence. Alex removed his helmet and looked directly at the Void Hunter ship. Was this all just a test? Of course, Kethmar replied. The Void Hunters do not conquer worthy opponents. We recruit them. Elena felt her heart sink. Recruit them? The galaxy has grown weak and soft, Kethmar explained. But some species still remember how to fight. Those species earn the right to join us in conquering the ones that have forgotten? Alex was quiet for a long moment. When he spoke, his voice carried the weight of humanity's dark history. And if we refuse? Then you prove you are not worthy after all, and we destroy you with the rest. General Parker's voice cut through the channel. Lieutenant, don't even consider it. But Alex wasn't listening to the general. He was thinking with the mind of a soldier who had seen his species nearly destroyed by aliens before. Counter-proposal, Alex said finally. Give me 1 year to prepare humanity's defenses. Then come and try to conquer us. If you win, you get nothing because we'll all be dead. If we win, you leave this galaxy forever. Elena could hear Kethmar's amusement. You would bet everything on your ability to make humans dangerous again? I would bet everything on humanity's ability to become whatever it needs to survive, Alex replied. Just like we did during the Dark Century. There was silence for several minutes as the Void Hunters considered the proposal. Finally, Kethmar spoke again. Acceptable. 1 year, but understand, human warrior, we will not come as conquerors next time. We will come as exterminators. The Void Hunter ships began to withdraw from the system. Elena watched them disappear into hyperspace, taking their threat with them. Alex's voice came through the communications one last time. Dr. Martinez? Yes, Alex? I think I'm going to need you to find more of those cryogenic pods. It's time to wake up the rest of my people.